Hey everyone. So you're gearing up for the IELTS exam, and you know it's a pretty big deal. But what if I told you that some of the biggest things that drag your score down are actually small, totally avoidable mistakes? Well, today we're going to dive right into what those are, and more importantly, how to conquer them.
Just think about that for a second. What do you think it is? Your vocabulary? Maybe your grammar? Pronunciation? Honestly, it's usually not one single thing. It's a bunch of small slip-ups that all add up. But hey, don't worry, because today we're going to break them down one by one so you can sidestep them completely.
And this right here, this is the first thing you have to get. Scoring high isn't just about being fluent in English. Nope, it's about understanding how the test is designed and knowing how to show off your skills in the best possible way. You got to treat it like a game, and we're here to learn the rules.
So let's start at the very foundation, grammar and vocabulary. You know, these are the areas where even really advanced speakers can accidentally lose some easy points. The goal isn't to be absolutely perfect, but it is about steering clear of those really common traps.
Just take a quick look at this list. I mean, they seem so simple, right? Using the wrong article or mixing up prepositions like in, on, or at. But these are exactly the kinds of little slips that tell an examiner you lack precision. And that last one, run-on sentences, where you just keep connecting ideas with the right punctuation, that is a classic trap in the writing section.
Let's look at a perfect example of what I mean. See the word yet? That's a huge clue. When you're talking about something within a time period that isn't over yet, like your entire life up until this moment, you've got to use the present perfect. So it's not, I did not see this movie yet, it's I have not seen this movie yet. It feels like a small change, but it shows a much, much deeper command of English tenses.
Okay, so we've got the basic building blocks down. Now let's see how they fit into the bigger picture with your speaking and writing. This is where your strategy and your ability to really structure your thoughts are put to the ultimate test. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it.
And this slide just says it all, doesn't it? A short answer like, yes, I like reading, is just a totally missed opportunity. Now look at the developed answer. It doesn't just say yes. It uses stronger vocabulary like avid reader. It gives a specific example, historical fiction, and it gives a reason. That is exactly what the examiners are listening for.
And here are a few other pitfalls to watch out for in the speaking test. First, don't use memorized answers. They sound robotic and totally unnatural. Second, be mindful of long pauses or using too many ums and ahs. That'll hurt your fluency score. Third, remember this is a formal test, so avoid slang like gonna or wanna. And finally, really practice your pronunciation, especially of those key academic words.
Now let's switch over to writing. Your introduction is your first impression, so it has to be strong. A weak opening just kind of wanders around the topic without a clear point. The secret ingredient is a thesis statement. You need to tell the examiner exactly what your essay is going to argue. That single sentence can transform a weak opening into a powerful one that sets you up for success.
Okay, these are the absolute score killers in your writing. First, ask yourself, did I answer every single part of the question? It's so common to miss one little piece. Second, check for repetition. Are you using the same words over and over? Next, make sure every paragraph has a clear topic sent to give it structure. And finally, please don't just stop. You have to end with a strong conclusion that wraps up your argument.
All right, we've spent a lot of time on the problems. Let's shift gears and talk about the solutions. Think of this next part as your strategic toolkit. These are the key techniques and concepts you need to master to really boost that score.
You are going to see these two words, coherence and cohesion, everywhere when you study for the IELTS. And for good reason. Coherence just means your ideas are logical and easy to follow. Cohesion is about using connecting words, like however, therefore, or in addition, to make sure those ideas flow smoothly. It really is the glue that turns a bunch of sentences into a convincing argument.
And I really want you to take this piece of advice to heart. Yes, IELTS rewards you for using complex sentences and advanced vocabulary, but only if you use them correctly and naturally. If you try to force in a complicated word where it doesn't fit, it actually hurts you more than it helps. Always prioritize making sense. Clarity is king.
So, with all that in mind, where should you focus your energy? First, you have to become a master of the clock. Time management is absolutely critical. Running out of time means you're just giving away points. Next, get really good at taking notes, especially in the listening section, so you can catch all those key details. And finally, actively work on expanding your vocabulary. Using a wide range of words is one of the quickest ways to show the examiner your skill level.
Okay, we've covered the mistakes to avoid and the strategies to use. But there is one final piece of the puzzle, and frankly, it's the one that makes all the difference. We're talking about practice. This is where you turn all this theory into an actual high score.
And that's the honest truth about the IELTS. You can watch a million videos, you can read a dozen books, but the real test is whether you can apply all those skills when the clock is ticking and you're feeling that pressure. And believe me, the only way to get comfortable with that pressure is to practice in it. So, how do you practice the right way? Well, using online resources that mimic the real test is a great start. For instance, sites like IELTSbattles.com have all these free tools, things like full mock tests so you can build your stamina, vocabulary flashcards, and even grammar lessons. The most important thing is finding tools that let you practice what you've learned under real, timed conditions.
Look, we've laid out the common pitfalls and the strategies to beat them. The blueprint for success is right here in front of you. So the only question left is, are you ready to put in the work and turn all these tips into the high score you deserve?